Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming today. Really appreciate you being here. We'd like to start out by giving you kind of an overview of what's happened this past week. And we're very respectful to the fact that North Haven was hit hard, Connecticut was hit hard with Hurricane Sandy, as was New York and New Jersey. And really, New Jersey and New York have been crippled with infrastructure being destroyed. There's a lot of people out there that are really in tough shape. Originally, this started, we were going to drive around town. We didn't think that was a good idea. And talking to Dave and with Len, we want to be respectful of our surroundings. The situation in North Haven right now is that we're down to 3.2% of our customers and homes without power. Over the course of the past 72 hours, we have made some tremendous strides. There were a lot of frustrating situations here. People were frustrated. Len, myself, and Dave met with the UI executives earlier in the week. We had resources in place. We had 2 UI people in my office, and our goal was to have our office provide residents of North Haven good quality information to give the residents hope as opposed to not knowing what was going on. So we're very sensitive to, there's still 300 plus people, homes here without power, but I do want to thank you again for coming. The story I just shared with you about the UI, with Dave, myself, and Len meeting with the UI, really is a good representation of how closely the 3 of us have worked here for the past 2 years. Some of you may not know that these 2 individuals by my side here have been friends of mine long before we chose to come into these professions. Len and I have known each other for 30 years. We've competed against each other on the football fields of New Haven. And Dave and I have known each other for 22 years. I was always impressed with Dave as a small business owner by the level of customer service and the interpersonal skills he has and has had with his customers. So we truly make a great team. I, for one, don't want this team disrupted. And Dave, even though he's running unopposed, it's to his credit that he's still campaigning as he has in the past with an opponent. Len, of course, is running against an opponent whom we've worked with before. We never say anything bad about any of our opponents. But there's no question in my mind that Len Fasano is far superior than any opponent that's running against him right now. I'm seeing clearly Len's ability not only to work across party lines in a bipartisan fashion, but to get things done, serve the constituents of North Haven, East Haven, and Wallingford in a fashion that really serves the public very, very well. It's a critical election for us here in North Haven. Think about the alternative. Dave and I working with a different state senator, someone who in my mind does not represent the ideals and does not embody what the 3 of us embody. That's not a knock on Len's opponent, but I do not want a convoluted setup between the first selectman, the state representative, and a new state senator. I truly don't think it helps North Haven. With that being said, this team here, these 2 individuals, these are the guys that helped me move North Haven forward, and I'm proud to work with both of these 2 individuals. So with all that being said, I'd like to turn it over to my longstanding friend, my former opponent on the football field, a man who I'm happy to be on the same team with after all those years we competed against each other, my dear friend Len Fasano, State Senator. Len?
Hey, Len. Thank you, Michael. First of all, Mike has done an absolutely terrific job here in North Haven. Dave and I were at the recycling center, and people were just so proud at how quickly we responded to the outages here in North Haven and how quickly we got our town up and running. And that's due to a very strong leader like we have with Mike Frieda. This election is important, and it's important for a number of reasons. From the federal level, we need to get Romney elected president. There's no doubt about it. We need to change the direction, the Romney-Ryan team, we need to change the direction that we're going as a country. When we get to the U.S. Senate, no one is more dedicated than Linda McMahon. No one is more dedicated on setting a course different than the course you're setting than Linda McMahon. And although I know some people were upset over the commercial she had a week ago, look, we are in this thing to get Linda elected. We have representatives from Connecticut, in Washington, and not one Republican. Not one. And this is our best shot to get a Republican up there who can do advertisement. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, there is a get out the vote, if you would, a rally at Linda's headquarters here in North Haven at 3 o'clock. Corey Bliss called me yesterday and knew about our rally, but she's running around the state, and she wanted to make sure I extended an invitation to everyone here to please go there. They've asked that I introduce Linda, but please go there for the rally. I think it's important just to show the spirit. We have Wayne Winsley. Look, Rosa's a tough opponent. Wayne Winsley is a tough candidate. We've got to have a great showing for Wayne. If he doesn't make it, he's pledged to run again. That's important. It takes a while to climb that ladder. Wayne is a great guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got the right message, the right tone. Let's get out there and push for Wayne Winsley. Let's give him a good showing, if not a win, November 6th. Now, as far as my election and Dave's election, well, Dave really doesn't have an election. I envy, 2 years ago I was in his shoes, and you forget how good it is. It's kind of like when you lose your power to your house, you forget how good you have it. So that's where I am. So it has been it's been a long election. My opponent is a worker. He does work. And he's going to have a great field operation. He's got a guy who knows how to do a field operation. But he does not have the right message. My message is to reduce taxes. My message is we have to roll back the highest tax increase in Connecticut's history. My message is we got to get 9% unemployment down. My message is we have to create the opportunities for small businesses to exist in the state of Connecticut. My message is you don't give $150 million for a company to move from Westport to Stanford when the CEO is making $3.9 billion. That's not moving the Connecticut forward. My message is we don't open up our prison system and let people out of jail who are murderers and rapists. That's the wrong thing. That's not moving Connecticut. That's not making Connecticut safe. These are the wrong policies, but these are the policies that my opponent believes in. My opponent believes that the state of Connecticut should run the grid and the power companies, CLMP, UI, and Wallingford Electric. That is wrong. Big government is not the answer. To my opponent, big government is the only answer. That is the clear, distinct difference between me and my opponent. So when you're out there, you're talking to people, and some are undecided, it's very simple. You want more taxes? Vote for my opponent. You want to give more money to bigger companies for welfare, corporate welfare bailout? Vote for my opponent. You want to keep 9% unemployment? Vote for my opponent. You want to have government run our electric companies? Vote for my opponent. If you don't believe in any of those philosophies, vote for me. That is a difference. It's not hype, it's not spin, it's fact. So get out there, make sure people get